Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram Hare Hare,
Ram Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare
Ram Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Hare
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 Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama.
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to the devotees who are participating in these programs on a weekly basis. We thank you very much for attending on time. Yes, because time is the most valuable possession we have. And Chanakya Pandit said, you cannot buy back 1 second of time, even with the millions of gold coins. You know, there's a saying in the West, Yashodanandana, time is money. So people, they get very conscious of their time. There's a saying as well. It's a song I wrote called Time. And in the words it says, we trade dollars for hours. And that's how we all get by. So time is a very valuable aspect of our life, but it's hard for people to conceive of the value of time when they, Rachisha Devi Dasi, when they waste so much time. And we can look at our own lives, especially pre-Prabhupada days with ourselves. That's all we did was waste time. We had no idea what to do with time. And it was by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we became aware of the principle of proper use of time. And that is the most valuable asset we possess. And when you get older and you become broken, like a lot of people, old age breaks the body. So no longer can you run up the stairs, right? You have to hobble up the stairs. So the broken body, and we see that with so many devotees, getting older and fragile, very fragile. You know, one of the easiest ways to kill yourself is slip and fall. Now, Prabhupada said, padam padam vipadam natesham. There's danger at every step in your life. There is. Now you could think, oh, well, I'm not going to fall. But if you forget to be conscious here in Yotapec, Mexico, Yashodanandana Prabhu, there's the rainy season right now. Now it's been raining every day for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now what happens, the surface of the grounds becomes slippery, very slippery. And I have to watch really carefully not to slip and fall. Don't slip on the steps. Don't slip on the ground. Don't fall. Don't trip. Especially when you're older, be careful. Because, and here's the reason, padam padam vipadam natesham. There's danger at every step in life. Now, people don't realize that very well, but this is a fact. So use your time, be careful how you walk in life. And the best way to walk is how? Follow in the footsteps of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and his wonderful example that he gave us when he came from India on the Jaladuta to New York. And when you read those pastimes in the early years, they're so inspiring. And we will get back to them in the future. We will read the diaries again. It's an ever fresh experience, and it fixes your mind on the true story of Prabhupada's heroics. Oh, yes. And he had so many victories, despite all the calamities that he experienced, his hard attacks on the boat, the places he was living in, which have no kitchen or bathroom even. Can you imagine? Prabhupada was living in an office down from Mishra's apartment, and he had no place to cook, and he had no place to bathe himself. And he would go out, he would bathe in public washrooms sometimes. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who formed a $1 billion organization, it's really that big, started with zero. Except his unflinching faith in the orders of his spiritual master and in his service to the mission and instructions that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta gave him to preach Krishna consciousness to the Western speaking world. And it was only a short time he developed this movement. As you recall, Yashodanandana Prabhu. It was November 14th, 1977, when the shocking news came that Prabhupada had left the material world back to the spiritual world. Oh, yes. And this is what I wanted to say to all of you. We're going to have a festival. Yes, we are. We're going to do it on the Saturday, Yashodanandana, which will be November 15th. So Prabhupada's departure was on November 14th. But to facilitate the routine, and people have a routine with us to come to the Saturday morning Bhagavad Gita class as it is. So we're going to have a special program. I'm laying out the outline. Yashodanandana is going to speak on Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya, on that famous verse that morning to tip off the program. And then we're going to have guest speakers, a whole list of them. And I'm inviting the different guests to participate. And I wanted to say that I was very happy, Yashodanandana Prabhu, to have Dinishna Devi Dasi agree to speak on some of her pastimes with Srila Prabhupada back in the 60s in San Francisco. Fantastic. I can't wait. So there's going to be a very illustrious group of Prabhupada disciples. And we're going to list on the group the place they were initiated and the year. So you're going to see all these people, all these devotees coming and speaking, and they're going to glorify Srila Prabhupada by recounting their pastimes with Srila Prabhupada on this special event show on November 15th. So get excited, everyone. We're always coming up with new ideas, as you know. We could do a lot more, but step by step, okay? Step by step. So you're gonna see a poster coming out in the next couple of days, and it'll describe the guests and all the details of the event. And then you can proselytize it in your own networks so that we can give other people a chance to associate with Prabhupada. And I'm putting on the poster, Yashoda, non-sectarian. Non-sectarian. Because unfortunately, nowadays, there's this group against that group, against this group, against that group, all throughout the pastime of Prabhupada post 77. But we want to stress the point that our group is non-sectarian. This is a very important issue. Nowadays, the sectarian philosophy permeates. My guru, here, let me give you an example, Rochisha. My guru is better than your guru. What? Well, what guru are you? Well, this guru, my guru, is better than your guru. And this guru did this and that and all of that stuff. There's only one guru that we're celebrating at this event. And it's non-sectarian because everyone's going to accept this. That Prabhupada is everyone's guru, correct? I think. Maybe I'm naive. I'm thinking, well, everyone should at least acknowledge one day a non-sectarian festival where we can invite people to come to this event and hear the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada as our members experienced while he was personally present with us. And that's called, what is that called? Nectar. It's non-sectarian. Nectar is non-sectarian. And so this is coming up on November 15th. And like I said, we're going to make the poster. It's going to be a spectacular. We have a wonderful team of people nowadays. I don't know if you've seen the poster that we have now for the advertising of Delhi Bhagavatams. Incidentally, everyone, the sales are going very well. They are. And I'm quite confident that in due course, these valuable, rare books that we published are going to be in short demand or high demand and short supply. So anybody that's in this program, if you want to capture this opportunity, you know, take a step forward and order them and have them in supply, because they're in demand globally. And I'm realizing more and more, I'm sorry I'm going to keep talking, because I want to go to the reading of Beyond Birth and Death, which is, someone complained I wasn't putting it. Okay, this particular volume, I think it's Yashodanandana Prabhu. We're going to have to verify which. I have the book. These are lectures. I want to make sure that they haven't been edited, but we'll do that in our scrutiny as we continue to present this unchanged position of Prabhupada's books without any adulteration. But these books are a wonderful introduction into the philosophy. And I had a realization preaching to some other people that when you turn the Bhagavad Gita over to them and they start reading it, well, who's this? What's this? I have no idea what this is about. So these books are very helpful in educating people on an overall simple understanding of this philosophy and encouraging them, like we're creating this the complete guide to self-realization, which is going to be a wonderful release by us coming up in the near future, another project we've undertaken. But getting back to my point, the way to reach people, Yashodanandana Prabhu, as you know, and we're doing it, is through the common internet channels that are distributing information to billions of people at once. You know, you can go out on the street. I remember I went out on Winnipeg Street on Portage Avenue with our devotees years ago. Now, Portage Avenue in downtown Winnipeg is like considered, with the way the wind blows there, Yashoda, it is considered one of the coldest places in Canada to go out and be active. And there were very few people on the street. And we were walking around in pink polyester dhotis with no long underwear. I could say this, we were quite celibate. Very celibate. It was freezing. So the point is, how many people do you reach when you go on Portage Avenue in the dead of winter and try to give a person a book? I could tell you frankly, it's very hard. But here, with the use of internet technology, and we're working on that, by the way, we have a wonderful team of people that Krishna has arranged for us to work with in Bangalore and other places in the world. And we're going to continue to use these tools based on current time and circumstance to preach, distribute, and sell these sacred literatures for everyone's benefit, and give them tutorial guidance moving forward through the vehicles that we've created. And we're going to continue to improve and share with as many people as possible. Like the other day, we had like 70 people at the program. Was that better than going downtown with one person? Here, take this ball. And the guy goes and takes it, just throws it in the garbage. Sorry, I don't want it. But give me a donation. Okay, for what? Well, I'm not sure. This is the new age, everyone. And we're using this new age technology to preach and propagate truth without any contaminated motivation by certain people. I'm not going to mention who they are, Yashoda, who are motivated for profit, adoration, and distinction. And my opinion of those people, Prabhus, is they're a bunch of amateurs. See that? Okay, so that's enough of that. Was that polite? Rochisha, was that polite? Or was I didn't say anybody's name, okay? People are criticizing me. Hey, Vishwa, VK, don't mention anybody's names. Oh, okay. We'll try our best. Here, we're going to go to this wonderful. You can smile if you want. There's no problem. You can either laugh if you want. This is a very informal but positive, serious group of devotees. The word Veda. Go into the screen, please. Ram Raghava. Here we are. We're continuing on with the first chapter. Okay, where are you? The word Veda, it's page 6. Okay, the word Veda means book of knowledge. There are many books of knowledge which vary according to the country, population, environment, etc. In India, the books of knowledge are referred to as the Vedas. Okay, so Prabhupada here, very interestingly, is dividing knowledge according to different religious groups. In the West, they are called the Old Testament and New Testament. Though Mohammedans accept the Quran, what is the purpose for all these books of knowledge? They are there, Trevor, who's listening, they are there to train us to understand our position as pure soul. Their purpose is to restrict bodily activities by certain rules and regulations, and those rules and regulations are known as codes of morality. We're not going to go through this and dissect all the words, but just try to absorb it. The Bible, for instance, has 10 commandments intended to regulate our lives. The body must be controlled in order for us to reach the highest perfection, and without regulated principles, it is not possible to perfect our lives. The regulated principles may differ from country to country or from scripture to scripture, but that does not matter, for they are made according to the time and circumstances and mentality of the people. Okay? So Christ appeared 2,000 years ago. The time and circumstance was of a certain way, and when you read the scripture, you'll understand it. But the principle of regulated control is the same. Similarly, the government sets down certain regulations to be obeyed by its citizens. There is no possibility of making advancement in government or civilization without some regulations. True. And in the modern world now, I'm going to divert for a minute, Yashoda. In Canada now, people, they go out and steal in public. They steal. They just walk into stores and just get their bags and start loading them up with goods and walk out. And then the rule is you can't stop them. That's the rule. You can't stop them. They just walk out. And that's going on in Canada without any restriction. It's complete madness. The whole thing has broken down that people are becoming thieves. And I saw a picture in Ontario, in Mississauga, which is near Toronto here. And there were thousands and thousands of people breaking the laws, and nobody can do anything. You can't do anything. If they come into your house, you tell them, just take my keys and steal my car. That's what the police are telling you what to do. Just let them in, give them the keys, because they may kill you or you may kill them. And if you kill them, you'll get charged. It's gone completely crazy. Let's go back to the read. I just have to tell you, everyone, that this is the way society has degraded down to the complete state of immorality. In this verse, there's no possibility of making advancement in government without some regulations. In this verse above, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that the regulated principles of the Vedas are meant to control the three modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance, trigunya, vishaya, Veda. However, Krishna is advising Arjuna to establish himself in his pure constitutional position as spirit soul beyond the dualities of material life. And that's the first step. You have to understand, if you want to make advancement in spiritual life, you're not the body. And that's what Prabhupada's teaching us. As we have already pointed out, these dualities, such as heat and cold, pleasure and pain, arise due to the contact of the senses with their objects. In other words, they are born of identification with the body. Krishna indicates that those who are devoted to enjoyment and power are carried away by the words of the Vedas, which promise pain or heavenly enjoyment by sacrifice and regulated activity. Enjoyment is our birthright, for it is the characteristic of the spirit soul, Satchidananda. But the spirit soul tries to enjoy materially, and this is the mistake. Everyone is turning to, Prabhupada teaches so beautifully, crystal clear. Everyone is turning to material objects for sense enjoyment and is compiling as much knowledge as possible. Someone is becoming a chemist, a physicist, a politician, or an artist, or whatever. Everyone knows something of everything. I read this a few times before the class. Everyone knows something of everything and everything of something. And this is generally known as knowledge. But as soon as we leave the body, all of this knowledge is vanquished. In a previous life, one may be a great man of knowledge, but in this life, he has to start again by going to school and learning how to read and write from the beginning. With whatever knowledge was acquired in the previous life, Trevor, is forgotten. The situation is that we are actually seeking eternal knowledge, but this cannot be acquired by this material body. We are all seeking enjoyment through these bodies, but bodily enjoyment is not our actual enjoyment. It is artificial. We have to understand, these are great examples. But if we want to continue in this artificial enjoyment, we will not be able to attain our position of eternal enjoyment. The body must be considered a diseased condition. A diseased man cannot enjoy himself properly. A man with jaundice, for instance, will taste sugar candy as bitter, but a healthy man can taste its sweetness. In either case, the sugar candy is the same, but according to our condition, its taste different. Unless we are cured of this diseased conception of bodily life, we cannot taste the sweetness of spiritual life. That's why discipline is there. Indeed, it will taste bitter to us. At the same time, by increasing our enjoyment of material life, we are further complicating our diseased condition. A typhoid patient cannot eat solid food, and if someone gives it to him to enjoy and he eats it, he is further complicating his malady and endangering his life. I remember I had no experience of that until I went to India. Here in Canada, it's not common, that disease. If we really want freedom from the miseries of material existence, we must minimize our bodily demands and pleasures. Actually, material enjoyment is not enjoyment at all. Real enjoyment does not cease. It's called ananda. In Mahabharata, there's a verse, Ramanti Yogina Nanti, to the effect that the yogis, yogina, those who are endeavoring to elevate themselves to the spiritual platform are actually enjoying Ramanti, but their enjoyment is Ananti, endless. This is because their enjoyment is in relation to the supreme enjoyer, Krishna. Sri Krishna, Bhagawan Sri Krishna is the real enjoyer, and Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Bhoktoram Jagnatapasyam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Yatva Mam Shantam Richate. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. And that is in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 29. Bhoga means enjoyment, and our enjoyment comes from understanding our position as the enjoyer. The real enjoyer is the Supreme Lord, and we are enjoyed by Him. That's our position. An example of this relationship can be found in the material world between the husband and the wife. The husband is the enjoyer. Go down. The husband is the enjoyer. Hold on. Purusha, and the wife is the enjoyed, Prakriti. The word Pri means woman. Purusha or spirit is the subject, and Prakriti or nature is the object. The enjoyment, however, now check this out. Look how Prabhupada explains this. Is participated in both by the husband and wife. Both. They enjoy together. When actual enjoyment is there, there is no distinction that the husband is enjoying more or the wife is enjoying less. Although the male as the predominator and the female is the predominated, there is no division when it comes to enjoyment. On a larger scale, no living entity is the enjoyer. God expanded into many, and we constitute those expansions. God is one without a second, but He willed to become many in order to enjoy. We have experienced that there is a little or no enjoyment in sitting alone in a room talking to oneself. However, if there are 5 people present, our enjoyment is enhanced, and if we can discuss Krishna before many and many people, the enjoyment is all the greater. Enjoyment means variety. God maybe became many for His enjoyment, and thus our position is that of enjoyed. That is our constitutional position and the purpose for our creation. Both enjoyer and enjoyed have consciousness, but the consciousness of the enjoyed is subordinate to the consciousness of the enjoyer. Although Krishna is the enjoyer and we the enjoyed, the enjoyment can be participated in equally by everyone. Wow. Isn't that amazing, that explanation? How Prabhupada connects all the logic. The enjoyment can be participated in equally by everyone. Our enjoyment can be perfected when we participate on the enjoyment of God. There is no possibility in our enjoying separately on the bodily platform. Material enjoyment on the gross bodily platform is discouraged throughout the Bhagavad Gita. Matra sparsas tukontiya sitoshna sukhaduka da agami paino nichas tam statikshashva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of the summer and winter and summer seasons, and they arise from sense perception, O ski and a bharat, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. The gross material body is a result of the interactions of the modes of material nature, and it is doomed to destruction. Sadly, antavanta ime deha nityas yokta sara ina nashino parame yasha tasmad yuhasya bharata. Oh, the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is subject to destruction. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. That's in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 18. So Krishna, therefore, encourages us to transcend the bodily conception of existence and to attain our spiritual life. Keep going. Gunan etan atitya trim dehi deha samud bhavan janma mritya jara dukher vimukta mritam asnute. When the embodied living being is able to transcend the three modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, he becomes free from birth and death, old age, and their distresses, and can even enjoy nectar even in this life. That means you can get out of this material world while you're living here by following this process. In establishing ourselves on the pure Brahma-bhuta spiritual platform, above these three modes, we must take up the method of Krishna consciousness. The gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada's tying it all together. The chanting of the names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, facilitates this process. This method is called Bhakti Yoga or Mantra Yoga, and it is employed by the highest transcendentalists. How the transcendentalists realize their identity beyond birth and death, beyond the material body, and transfer themselves from the material universe to the spiritual universes are the subjects of the following chapters. And look at this beautiful diagram. See that? In the following chapters, and we're going to keep reading. This is just the first chapter. There's 6 chapters here. We're going to fix this book up too. We are really going to fix it up and become a vehicle for propagating the truth and not propagating a sectarian group that uses it for their own personal motives. Very important point. We're doing that, but that's coming in due course. So thank you, everyone, for paying attention and being a part of this program. We're going to go ahead with our next section. We're going to keep on connecting the dots here and hear a lecture from Srila Prabhupada. So tune in and listen attentively, and I think you'll really love this. Haribol.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam. To try to understand Krishna as Rishikesha. So Rishikesha Krishna began to love that he is my friend, constant associate, and such weakness. He first of all was enthusiastic to ask me to take his chariot, Sena Ruvar Madhya. Now Vishidantam, now he is lamenting. So we are all fools like that. Arjuna is not fool. Arjuna has been described as Gura Krishna. How he can be fool? But he is playing the part of fool. If he does not play the part of a fool, how this Bhagavad Gita will come from the mouth of Sri Krishna? And because he is devotee, he is perfectly playing in such a way that Krishna is giving instruction. So, perfect teacher and the perfect disciple. We have to learn from them. Our position, Arjuna is representing just like ordinary man like us. And Krishna as Rishikesha giving his advice. Perfect advice. If you read Bhagavad Gita in the spirit of understanding, like Arjuna, the perfect disciple, and if we accept the advice and instruction of Krishna, the perfect teacher, then we should know that we have understood Bhagavad Gita. By my mental speculation, by rascal interpretation, by showing one's scholarship, you cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. That is not possible. Submission. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. So we have to surrender, as Arjuna, surrender. Shishrasteham sadhimang prapannam. I surrender unto you. I become your disciple. To become disciple means to surrender. Voluntarily accepting the instruction, the advice, the order of the spiritual master. So Arjuna has already accepted that. Although he is speaking, the Najosya, Krishna I shall not fight. But master, when he explains everything, he will fight. Master's order. Not to fight, that is his own sense gratification. And to fight, in spite of, he had no desire to fight, that is the satisfaction of the master. This is the sum and substance of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna seeing Arjuna Vishidantam, very much affected, lamenting that he is not prepared to do his duty. Therefore in the next verse he begins that asocyananushutastam prajnavadangscha bhasas. My dear Arjuna, you are my friend. Never mind, my very strong, despite your being my friend personal, you are so much overwhelmed with false compassion. So just hear me. Therefore say, asocyan, you are lamenting on a subject matter which is not at all asocyan.
Socha means lamentation. And asocha means one should not lament. Asocha. So asocyananisutastam prajnavadang subhasa. But you are talking like very learned scholar, because he has talked. But those things are right. What Arjuna has said, that Varna Sāṅkhya, when the women become polluted, the population is Varna Sāṅkhya. That is fact. Whatever Arjuna has said to Krishna, in order to avoid the fighting, those things are correct. But from the spiritual platform, those things may be correct or incorrect, but from spiritual platform they are not to be considered very serious. Therefore, asocyananisutastam, because his lamentation was on the bodily concept of life. That bodily concept of life, in the very beginning of Krishna's instruction, it is condemned. Asocyananisutastam, you are lamenting on the bodily concept of life. Because anyone who is in the bodily concept of life is no better than animal.
Anyone on the bodily conception of life is no better than an animal. And Prabhupada further elaborated on it. He said in the modern world, people have become sophisticated animals. So they go to the restaurant, they sit down with a knife and fork. They have the person come over and serve them the food, and it's a piece of steak, and they slice it up and eat it, a dead body. Sophisticated dogs and cats, so that's very unfortunate. We're going to move forward with our next part of the program, which is the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, the kirtan. Someone made a comment, a funny comment here. Sectarian. Yeah, this chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava is a non-sectarian kirtan, bhajan. So be careful when you throw the word sectarian around. You have to understand what that means. Keep coming to the classes and you'll figure it out. Okay, Prabhu? Haribo. Let's go forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava.
Sign. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Raja Chaitanya Sadasyaman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please display the proper mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead, Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Thanks everybody for coming to this reading and discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It should be noted that this reading is being conducted on the basis of the original 1975 non-edited, non-adulterated version of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and that all synonyms, translations, and purports are from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. As we do every week, we will read a few selected verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, from the Adi Lila, chapter 1, from text 18-22, which explains the meaning and the benefits and the effect of hearing this powerful non-sectarian transcendental literature. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Glory to Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda. Glory to Advaita Chandra, and glory to all the devotees of Sri Gaura, Lord Chaitanya. Etina Thakur Gaudiya ke karye chena yatmasad. Etinero charana vandan tere morenat. These three deities of Vrindavana, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinatha have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Lord Chaitanya. I worship their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. Granterarambi Kari Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnav Bhagavan Tinera Smarana. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. Tinera Smarane Vigna Vinashanam Anayaseai Nijavanchita Purana. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. Simangala charanoi tribida prakar vastu nirdesha shirvada namaskara. The invocation involves three processes: defining the objective, offering benedictions, and offering obeisances. Let us proceed with the specific verse that we are reading today. We are reading from the Adi Lila, chapter 6, text number, let's see the original Sanskrit in Bengali. Text number 14 and 15. Maya yoe cheduyam sanimitta upadan, Maya nimitta itu upadan pradhan, Purusha ishvare chedvimurti hoya, Vishvasriti kare nimitta upadana lana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Just as the external energy consists of two parts, the efficient cause, nimitta, and the material cause, upadana, Maya being the efficient cause and pradana, the material cause, so Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, assumes two forms to create the material world with the efficient and material causes. We will continue the reading of the purport where we left last week. This cosmic manifestation is one of the diverse energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a spider secretes saliva and weaves a web by its own movement, but at the end winds the web within its body, so Lord Vishnu produces this cosmic manifestation from his transcendental body, and at the end winds it up within himself. All the great sages of the Vedic understanding have accepted that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original creator. It is sometimes claimed that the impersonal speculations of great philosophers are meant for the advancement of knowledge without religious ritualistic principles. But the religious ritualistic principles are actually meant for the advancement of spiritual knowledge. By performance of religious rituals, one ultimately reaches the supreme goal of knowledge by understanding that Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of everything. It is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that even those who are advocates of knowledge only, without any religious ritualistic processes, advance in knowledge after many, many lifetimes of speculation, and thus come to the conclusion that Vasudeva is the supreme cause of everything that be. As a result of this achievement of the goal of life, such an advanced learned scholar or philosopher surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Religious ritualistic performances are actually meant to cleanse the contaminated mind in the material world. And the special feature of this Kali, of this age of Kali, is that one can easily execute the process of cleansing the mind of contamination by chanting the holy names of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. A Vedic injunction states, Sarva Veda Yat Padamananti. All Vedic knowledge is searching after the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, another Vedic injunction states, Narayana Paravedaha. The Vedas are meant for understanding Narayana, the Supreme Lord. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita also confirms, Vedeshta Sarver Ahamiva Vidyaha. By all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. Therefore, the main purpose of understanding the Vedas, performing Vedic sacrifices, and speculating on the Vedanta Sutras is to understand Krishna. Accepting the impersonalist view of voidness, or the non-existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead negates all study of the Vedas. Impersonal speculation aims at disproving the conclusion of the Vedas. Therefore, any impersonal speculative presentation should be understood to be against the principles of the Vedas or standard scriptures. Since the speculation of the impersonalist does not follow the principles of the Vedas, their conclusion must be considered to be against the Vedic principles. Anything not supported by the Vedic principles must be considered imaginary and lacking in standard proof. Therefore, no impersonalist explanation of any Vedic literature can be accepted. If one tries to nullify the conclusions of the Vedas by accepting an unauthorized scripture or so-called scriptures, it will be very hard for him to come to the right conclusion about the absolute truth. The system for adjusting two contradictory scriptures is to refer to the Vedas, for references from the Vedas are accepted as final judgments. When we refer to a particular scriptures, it must be authorized, and for this authority, it must strictly follow the Vedic injunctions. If someone presents an alternative doctrine he himself has manufactured, that doctrine will prove itself useless. For any doctrine that tries to prove that Vedic evidence is meaningless immediately proves itself meaningless. The followers of the Vedas unanimously accept the authority of Manu and Parashara in the disciplic succession. Their statements, however, do not support the atheistic Kapila, because the Kapila mentioned in the Vedas is a different Kapila, the son of Kardama and Devahuti. The atheist Kapila is a descendant of the dynasty of Agni and is one of the conditioned souls. But the Kapila, who is the son of Kardama Muni, is accepted as an incarnation of Vasudeva. The Padma Purana gives evidence that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva takes birth in the incarnation of Kapila and, by his expansion of theistic Sāṅkhya philosophy, teaches all the demigods and a Brahmana of the name Asuri. In the doctrine of the atheist Kapila, there are many statements directly against the Vedic principles. The atheist Kapila does not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says that the living entity is himself the Supreme Lord and that no one is greater than him. His conception of so-called conditional and liberated life are materialistic, and he refuses to accept the importance of immortal time. All such statements are against the principles of the Vedanta Sutras. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmeritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shwanyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasadnaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bhagavad Vandana Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataha Adadanastrinam Danter Idam Yachi Punaha Punaha Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavato Smyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Chatakaromi Swam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada concludes this very long and detailed purport about the creation of the material world by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the exalted position of Vaishnava philosophy. Now, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the philosophy of Sāṅkhya. Sāṅkhya Karika or Sāṅkhya Yoga, the original is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, of Lord Narayana, Kapila Deva, the son of Devahuti. But Prabhupada makes a very clear distinction that there was another Kapila, which was an atheistic philosophy, which does not represent Vaishnava philosophy. That is why Baladevi Debhushan and our acharyas do not accept these speculations and false conclusion of the atheistic Kapila. Now, this is very interesting because in the Padma Purana, there is mention predicting the appearance of the Adi Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists. Mayavadam asat shastram prachannam bodhamuchyate. Mayeva kalpitam devi kalau brahma murupina. That Lord Shiva explains to his wife, Devi, that I will incarnate as a Brahmana to spread Mayavadat Asat Shastram, the false conclusion, the false scriptures of Mayavada philosophy, which is basically Buddhist philosophy covered. Prachannam Bodham Uchakche, Prachanna Bodham, it is covered Buddhism. That's why we repeat this mantra every day. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. There's the philosophy of impersonalism and voidism, the philosophy of the Buddhists. Although we recognize Lord Buddha as an incarnation of Krishna. Oh, here's the exact translation. Thank you, Ram Raghava Prabhu. Lord Shiva informed the goddess Durga, the superintendent of the material world, in the age of Kali, I take the form of a Brahmana and explain the Vedas through false scriptures in an atheistic way, similar to Buddhist philosophy. Now, we all know, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says in the purport, the word Brahmana Murtina in this verse refers to the founder of the Mayavada philosophy, Shankaracharya, who was born in the Malabar district of southern India. Mayavad philosophy states that the Supreme Lord, the living entities, and the cosmic manifestation are all transformation of illusory energy. To support this atheistic theory, the Mayavadis cite false scriptures which make people bereft of transcendental knowledge and addicted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. This verse is a quotation from the Padma Purana, Uttarakanda 25.7. This is quoted from the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, we all know from the Srimad Bhagavatam in Canto 1, Chapter 3, that Lord Buddha is described as one of the incarnations. So the question comes by some Vaishnava followers, how can he be considered an incarnation since he preached voidism? But Prabhupada said this is called covered atheism. In other words, he was telling people, you don't believe in all these Vedas. You just believe in me. Surrender to me. Pay obeisances to me. And by that, they would make some spiritual advancement. Interestingly, due to the influence of Kali Yuga, in Southern California at some point, I went to a place east of Los Angeles in the San Gabriel Valley, and there's a lot of Chinese people there from Taiwan, and they're all worshipers of Lord Buddha. So I went there, paid my obeisances, and I brought some fruits along with my wife Apsara, and I noticed that some of the offerings that they were offering to Lord Buddha were non-vegetarian. I asked one of the monks, how can you offer this to Lord Buddha, since Lord Buddha used to preach Ahimsa paramo dharmaha, that the highest religion is nonviolence. But here you are offering foodstuffs that are considered untouchable. But we see in Kali Yuga, everything becomes perverted, everything becomes changed, everything becomes polluted due to the influence of the age of Kali. Just like Vishwakarma Prabhu was making a reference that in Canada, in some parts, people are told if somebody comes to assault you or steal from you, just let him steal, don't do anything. This is very similar to what happened in California a couple of years ago, where people would go into the store with hammers and crowbars and basically take whatever they want, because the politicians made the law that, you get arrested and you come right out and do it again. So this is the influence of Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. And we say, why are the politicians doing this? They want the votes. They're trying to increase their vote bank. But this is nonsense. This is simply nonsense. I want to address some of the comments that have been made in the chat by one of the devotees. I don't know his name. VSD is this, I don't know, whatever his name is, about sectarianism. First of all, the history of the oath of allegiance in Prabhupada society was started by Prabhupada himself. In 1975, Prabhupada had a lot of discussions with the leaders of the society, requesting them to sign an oath of allegiance, which he dictated, which he drafted. And in part of these discussions, Prabhupada asked people to sign. The original idea of the oath of allegiance is people make an allegiance to Srila Prabhupada and to Srila Prabhupada's pure society. But what has happened since then is something else. Because as we know, and as we've discussed on this program many times, and Vishwakarma Prabhu knows this probably better than anybody else, and all of you know this, there's been many changes and departures from Prabhupada's original standard. Now, was Prabhupada being sectarian when he requested people to sign an oath of allegiance? No. He was just being careful so people would not be misled. So people who claim to be representing him would represent him and the actual philosophy which he taught. In 1970, when I went to the San Francisco Ratha Yatra in the beginning of July, I met Gargamuni for the first time. And he told me, well, why don't you come to Los Angeles? Because he asked me, who are you? Like, do you speak English? Because at that time, I had a lot of difficulty speaking English. I had a very thick accent. I still have an accent because I was born in Quebec. And as we know, people in that part of the world spoke a little French. They still speak a little French. So Gargamuni says, because I told him that Rupanuga had sent me from Philadelphia to go to San Francisco and go into Sankirtan with people like Vishnu Jan and other devotees. So I told Gargamuni, Gargamuni, sure, you come in a van tomorrow, you can come to Los Angeles. You can go on Sankirtan with Vishnu Jan every day. I said, okay, that's good. That's good. Was Gargamuni being sectarian? No. He was just engaging people according to the instruction he received from Srila Prabhupada to engage people in Sankirtan. Now, the point is, this is a very important point. The whole point is to engage in the activities of Krishna consciousness to basically follow the instruction and guidance of Srila Prabhupada. That is the point of an oath of allegiance. Otherwise, why have any affiliation with Prabhupada or Prabhupada's teachings? Why did we have to make an oath of allegiance? Because we've seen many deviated points, many deviated ideologies, many deviated practices being introduced by people who were claiming to be representatives of Prabhupada, to make a clear distinction. Now I hear many people are trying to document. I get an email today from some devotees. Oh, some devotees are trying to document the original books of Srila Prabhupada. What did Prabhupada want? After 46 years, they're trying to figure out that Prabhupada didn't want his books to be changed. What is that? It takes 46 years to figure out this one point? It takes 30 seconds. It takes 46 years for people to understand that they should not start their own separate GBC Society of West Bengal? What is that? Some of you may be aware, some of the leaders in the movement who had been nominated as managers for Prabhupada's society, eventually, after so many deviations, they realized, oh, let's start our own GBC society. Did Prabhupada ever give that instruction? Nope. It's not very complicated. It's not very difficult to understand. The whole point is to declare and submit to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and his original teachings. Those people who have perverted the teachings, deviated from the teachings, changed the teachings, and engaged in so many rationalizations and ridiculous explanations, we owe no allegiance to them. Because they have deviated, it doesn't mean that we have to deviate like them. Prabhupada in 1970, again, coming back to that time frame, I asked one of Prabhupada's servants, just after Prabhupada was making the GBC, I says, what is the idea of the GBC? Because we know that what the temple presidents are supposed to be, we know what the Sankirtan leader is supposed to be. So what is the idea of this new title? And the devotee said, because he had been in Prabhupada's room when Prabhupada was forming this, Prabhupada wanted that the original teachings which he presented should be preserved and not changed in any way after his departure. Now think about that for a moment. You think about everything that's taken place since 14th of November, 1977. And how many rationalizations and so-called explanations and resolutions and this change, that change, how many things have been introduced that are not in line with Srila Prabhupada's original and pure teachings? And I asked that Prabhupada servant, I said, so this is how it's supposed to be, that these people are entrusted with preserving Prabhupada's legacy? Yeah, he said that Prabhupada did not want his teachings, his original teachings, to be changed in any way. Now, we're not going to go about making a list of all the changes. That might take quite some time. But the point being, the whole idea of oath of allegiance is not being sectarian. It's an oath of obedience, surrender, and following Srila Prabhupada. That's the idea. Was Prabhupada being sectarian when he requested his leaders to have an oath of allegiance? No. Was Prabhupada being sectarian when in 1974 he sent a memo to all ISKCON centers telling them that his name should be on all the temples, all the letterheads and everything? Why did he even have to say that? Because he knew the tendency was there to deviate. That's the tendency in the material world, whimsical behavior. Prabhupada knew from the history of what happened in 1937 with the post-1937 Gaudiya Math, of what happened, what destroyed the unity and the momentum of that institution. He was trying to prevent a Gaudiya Math Part 2 nonsense. It is not being sectarian. It is being a good Vaishnava to follow the instructions as it is given by His divine grace. Now, I hope that helps. As far as those who want to argue for the sake of argument, that is not part of this program. They can contact us individually or do a little research themselves by reading Prabhupada's letters, by reading Prabhupada's conversations, and see what Prabhupada says. But thank you for bringing the point to us. We appreciate the concern, but we respectfully disagree that the oath of allegiance was sectarian. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Glories to Srila Prabhupada, and thank you very much for your discussion of various topics on today's scripture from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and your further points about sectarianism. That's the farthest thing away from what we are, by the way, whoever you are. And I asked Ram Raghava, who is this person, VPD? Who is he? Ram Raghava, who is this person?
I don't know, Prabhu. I've asked him, but he hasn't identified as far as I know.
Well, interesting. And we'll review that because there are rules about attending our programs. And my point was very clearly, if you don't understand that this is a non-sectarian group, that we represent Srila Prabhupada in truth, and you see what we're doing to demonstrate it to everyone, including the distribution of Prabhupada's Bhagavatams, then call us up personally. This is not a forum for this kind of dialogue. This is not what we're about. And our membership is, if you don't want to sign an oath of allegiance, don't. That's your choice. By the way, it's a voluntary thing, Ram Raghava. We're not demanding anybody. But when you build a team, when you build an organization that's focused on protecting Prabhupada's legacy, we, in our oath, require people that are interested in this process with us to be loyal. That's the idea. Loyalty is everything. If you're not loyal, then you're disloyal. That's simple. You're on another platform. So whoever you are, disclose your name, call me up or call Jashoda, tell us who you are. Because to come on the program like this and put this in was not appreciated. Thank you very much. And we'll go forward with our next section, which is our living guru. And we're going to go through that section to further understand who Prabhupada is without any change or adulteration. Haribol.
Okay, we are reading from Our Living Guru, section number 2, point number 11. But can't any number of devotees become gurus? Answer, yes, in a loose sense, but in the strictest sense, no. The Living Guru project smooths over the distinction between the loose sense of guru and the strict. Quote, there are 3 classes of devotees, writes Srila Prabhupada in C.C. Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text 330, and the guru must be accepted from the topmost class. Another quotation from Srila Prabhupada is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 8. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada further explains, since one cannot visually experience the presence of the super soul, he appears before us as a liberated devotee. Such a spiritual master is none other than Krishna himself, from Adi Lila, chapter 1, text 58. Prabhupada goes further. The guru speaks as Krishna dictates from within. Thus, it is not he that he is personally speaking. When a pure devotee or spiritual master speaks, what he says should be accepted as having been directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Parampara system. This is a very important quote from Antya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 5, text number 71. Next, Srila Prabhupada explains from Madhya Lila, chapter 8, text 200. When a pure devotee speaks, he speaks perfectly. How is this? His speech is managed by Krishna himself within the heart. Section 2.12. Question, let us not be overly idealistic. We need gurus, but inevitably, as recent history has shown, sometimes a reasonably good guru can become a bad guru. Isn't that right? Answer by Srila Prabhupada. Well, if he's bad, how can he become a guru? Laughter. How can iron become gold? Actually, a guru cannot be bad. For if someone is bad, he cannot be a guru. You cannot say bad guru. That is a contradiction. Prabhupada further explains, from the science of self-realization, saints and swindlers, a guru cannot be bad. There is no question of a bad guru any more than a red guru or a white guru. Guru means genuine guru. Before 1977, in the presence of the bona fide guru, Srila Prabhupada, there was no question of a bad guru. Or if there was one, such a silly concoction would create about a shower of laughter. But now the Living Guru Project has created thousands of unanswered questions about their bad gurus, and no one is laughing. Indeed, the Living Guru Project will have one shunned, excommunicated, even threatened for the sin of repeating Prabhupada's clear instruction. There is no question of a bad guru. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Back to you in the studio.
Oh, yes, very interesting. Thank you. There's no such thing as a bad guru. So if someone is posing, posturing, or pretending to be a guru and they're deviant, then this is not Shastric. This is not according to Prabhupada's teachings for all of us. We want to follow in the footsteps of our spiritual master. And you know, and when we're doing these programs, we're reading so much information to everyone. Right from Prabhupada's books, not interpreting the philosophy, but explaining it. And giving understanding based on our experience as Prabhupada disciples. Ram Raghava, how long have you been a Prabhupada disciple? Tell me. And don't be embarrassed with your age.
Trying for 50 years.
Okay. We have Prabhupada disciples in our group with hundreds of years of experience collectively. And we have a very good group and we're excited for it. And by the way, I wanted to mention Ram Raghava. People that come to our group have to be approved. It says it in the rules. The rules are that no ISKCON guru is allowed in our classes and no disciple without getting permission from us, from myself or Yashoda, before they're allowed to be in the class. This person that doesn't give his name and is not telling us who is guru, please step up, send me a message. The information will be there so we can know who you are and what you're about, and if you're interested in our mission and how you can help. That's all. We want you to be here. Shrestha Devi Dasi, please. Shrestha Rupa, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. I wanted to thank Vishwakarma Prabhu and Yashodanandan Prabhu for sending me over the Delhi Bhagavatam sets. I have been reading them. On page 13, it says, this incident of Lord Chaitanya's life shows clearly that the Lord was not a timid so-called Vaishnava. A Vaishnava means a fearless devotee of the Lord. That's all I needed to say here, because if you can't identify yourself, how can we help you? That's the question I want to ask anybody who's in the group or hearing us live on YouTube. Identify yourself. In asking that, we're not asking your name. Do you know who you are? If you don't know who you are, how will you understand anything else? Please tell us who you are. Yes, it does change with your name. It does change with who you are, because we want to know how to help you. If we cannot know who you are, we cannot help you. Your questions may be valid, but it's totally not relevant here unless you identify yourself. And we will be forced to remove you from attending the classes if you do not identify yourself. This is a closed group. if you want to be live and if you want to be active and if you want to be a member of this particular group, it is everyone's duty to protect each other's authenticity here. My teachers are trying to teach us what they learned, and we do not appreciate anybody trying to question them unless you know who you are. Thank you.
Very interesting. Okay, well, enough of that. But thank you very much. Well explained. Ram Raghava, any comments from you? Please.
No, Prabhu. I'm not sure. I've tried more than one occasion to find out who he is, but he's left already, so that solves that.
Yeah, that's it. You know, one thing about building a program like this, we can't expect that everything is perfect every week or going to be perfect in this imperfect world. So that's fair. And it makes for more interesting interaction for all of us. And this is the bliss of Krishna consciousness when you have a bona fide program like this that brings about all this discussion and interaction with other God brothers and God sisters in many different circumstances. And we have hundreds of programs. So you can go to our library and refer to them. I know some of our members go through them forensically to see if we made a mistake sometime. And if we did, we apologize. Sometimes there are to err as human. But at the same time, we're carrying on, we're building our process of Krishna consciousness with a very good group of Vaishnavas. And that we're celebrating, and the momentum is gathering, and the success is expanding, and the mercy of the spiritual master. Here's a point, Ram Raghava Prabhu. Prabhupada said this. He said, do not try to see Krishna, but try to act in such a way, that was Bhaktisiddhanta, that Krishna will see you. And just the one service that we've executed, the reprinting of the Delhi Bhagavatams and their successful distribution has attracted the attention of Krishna. And there's a lot of dots that you have to connect to understand why. And that's what we'll discuss moving forward into these programs and our blissful association with each other. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We've got another lecture, eh, Ram Raghava? Please,
yes, Prabhu, we have
let's
another
roll
lecture. It's about 7 minutes, and it says everyone has got his natural propensities.
There you go. Let's go.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam.
Translation. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition I am asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
This is a very important verse in Bhagavad Gita. It is a turning point of life. Karpanna dosa, miserly, dosa means fault. When one does not act according to his position, that is fault. And that is called miserly. So, everyone has got his natural propensities, sabha. Jasya hi jas sabhavasya tasya su duratikrama. svabhava, natural propensities. It is a common example it is given that jasya jas svabhavasya tasyaso duratikram. One habit is the second nature. One who is habituated, or one is nature, characteristic in some way, it is very difficult to change. The example is given, Swajadi kriyate raja saking nasnustupahanam. If you make a dog a king, does it mean that he will not lick up shoes? Yes, dog's nature is to lick up shoes. So even if you dress him like a king and let him sit down on a throne, still as soon as he will see one shoe, he will jump over and lick it. This is called svabhava. So, in the animal life, it is not possible to change one's nature, which is given by the material energy, prakriti, prakriti kriyamana. Karanam gunasanga karanam gunasanga asya sadasad janma junishu. Why all living entities are part and parcel of God. Therefore, originally, the characteristic of the living entity is as good as God. Simply, it is a question of quantity. Quality is the same. Quality is the same. Mamaivangsaju. The same example, if you take a drop of sea water, the quality, the chemical composition is the same, but the quantity is different. It is a drop and the sea is vast ocean. Similarly, we are exactly of the same quality as Krishna. We can study why people say God is impersonal. If I am of the same quality, God is also person. How he can be impersonal? If qualitatively we are one, then as I feel individually, so why God should be refused individuality? This is another nonsense. The impersonalists, rascals, they cannot understand what is the nature of God. In the Bible also it is said, man is made after God. You can study God's quality by studying your quality or anyone's quality. Simply the difference is the quantity is different. I have got some quality, some productive capacity. We also produce. Every individual soul produces something, but his production cannot be compared with the production of God. That is the difference. We are producing one flying machine. We are taking very much pride that now we have discovered this Sputnik. It is going to the moon planet. But that is not perfect. It is coming back. But God has produced so many flying planets, millions and trillions of planets, very heavy planets. Just like this planet is carrying so many big mountains, sea, but still it is flying. It is floating in the air just like a cotton swab. This is God's power. Gama Vishya, in the Bhagavad Gita I will find, Aham Dharayami Ojasa, who is sustaining all these big planets. We are explaining gravity. And in this Shastra, we find that it is being carried by Sankarsa.
the more we hear from Srila Prabhupada all these details about the science of God realization, the more remarkable this experience is for all of us. This is far beyond the ordinary discussion or ordinary dialogue that people have in the material world, which is filled with sound pollution. We're completely affected by the sound that we receive from others and other instruments that are used to project sound into our mind. And this process that we present, this non-sectarian process of Krishna consciousness, is a pure sound vibration meant to elevate the conditioned souls out of the condition of illusion. And that is our purpose. And we celebrate it, and we're doing a very good job. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this and supporting our efforts to present these programs on a weekly basis till the end of time while we're still all present. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We'll go with the next section, which is the offenses against chanting. Correct, Prabhu? Okay, so let's go with that.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8th, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare. Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Rama Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram, Rama
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama,
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
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 Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama, Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna, Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama, Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare. Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama, Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chant and be happy.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this lively reading and discussion. Vishwakarma Prabhu in Yautepec, Mexico, Ram Raghava Prabhu in Georgia, and Ram Raghava's presence, Rashika Devi Devidasi, and Viprahita Prabhu. Thank you so much for participating. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Shyamasunda Prabhu, the Samosa King in Australia. Rupa Goswami Prabhu in Bombay, India. And Kevin G., wherever you are, Bhakta Roy in Mississippi, Shrestha Rupa Devidasi in Karnataka, India, Sunil Prabhu, and Subramanya Prabhu. You have the beautiful cow there with your picture. Very nice. Very great. And everybody else participating, please join us on Saturday morning at 7 o'clock a.m. for Bhagavad Gita as it is, from the original 1972 Macmillan edition. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna.
We want to remind everyone we're going to have a festival, a Prabhupada festival, on November 15th, 2025, and it'll be an annual festival. And this will be the first annual Prabhupada celebration with the gathering of all of our God brothers and God sisters to celebrate Prabhupada's mission with the pastimes that they had with him at this special event. So be prepared and be excited and enjoy Krishna consciousness every day. We're going to carry on with the rest of our program. Ram Raghava, what's next on the program?
Next is the ending slides.
Okay, let's go. The credits.
Credits.
That's the credits.
Yes.
Everybody that's doing everything. I'm listening. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Play that bass, chant for peace. Don't be shy, chant along, chant along. Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Bo, Hare Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Hare Bo, Hare Hare Bo, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna,